Forbes came out with its list of the top TV personalities and the money that they earn from the shows that they do.
Have you taken me off the list because I don't want people to know what I make?
Yeah, I didn't want people to know that you were making the
right,
25 grand.
Good.
Anyway, 10 people on this list that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let's start off with number 10. It's Judge Judy. I'm sure you guys were already expecting her to be on this list. So Forbes looked at 1 year worth of untaxed income between June 2012 and June 2013. And this is the thing. They estimate how much these personalities make. They spoke to agents, they spoke to managers, people that work with these personalities to try to figure out how much money they made. So of course, it's very, very difficult to determine whether or not this is accurate, but nonetheless, Judge Judy comes in at number 10.
Now, we talked about Judge Judy before, that's why people might not be surprised. She gets over 40 million. Some of this stuff is a lot more verifiable. She has a TV contract. People know what that contract's for. And some of it, as you're about to find out, the guy at number 3 is a joke and not at all verifiable. And so it's a list where it ranges in how much you can trust it. So who's number 9?
Number 9 is Ellen. She made about $56 million between June 2012 and 2013.
And that's TV money, so again, very verifiable.
Yeah, if you can, TV may be on its way out, but TV that works, it's on its way up.
Yeah. And daytime TV is a cash cow. If you can get it to work.
Right, if you can
it's
get it to work,
very hard to get it to work.
Right, which is why it's so incredibly valuable to whoever syndicates her show and whoever owns that show to keep her to they make so much money that okay, what does it take? $30 million a year just for you as your salary and then your staff, whatever. So, and I'm sure she owns a piece of the show, which is why that's at 56.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I
imagine. Can you imagine making $56 million in 1 year?
And then the next
I
year,
can't
Imagine making 56,000.
I would keep saying, it's so impossible to say. Like you would keep thinking, well, I'll work 1 more year.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I got $600 million, but what am I not going to use 50? I'll take another $56 million. All I got to do is 1 more year.
Yeah.
But then at some point, you'd be like, all right, that's it.
And well, that just happened to Barbara Walters when she was approximately 198.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Hey, don't be too tough on Barbara. Right?
No, she's great.
I love her. Ryan Seacrest, he made $61 million.
Vanilla still sells.
Yeah. By the way, I believe that number too.
Vanilla and working your ass off.
Yeah, he does. That's what I was going to say. I totally believe that because he's everywhere. Everyone wants to hire him, and he does the radio show in the morning. He's
got
does
about
American
8
Idol.
TV shows.
Yeah, he's on E!
So God bless him for working that hard.
Yeah. Next is Donald Trump. He made $63 million.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
That's awful.
Well, maybe from Apprentice. I mean, he makes most of his money from TV these days and his name, etc. So I guess it's possible.
Selling your name and The Apprentice. How many can't make?
He has a clothing line too.
Apprentice isn't
Who
that
buys
big, is it?
Donald Trump clothes?
God, how
People do.
obnoxious and stupid are you if you buy Donald Trump clothes?
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I don't even think like clueless billionaires from the Gulf or Russia make that mistake.
He has some nice ties for men. I've seen some nice ties for men.
Right.
And it doesn't say like Donald Trump on it. It's just
rather
If
hang
the
myself
government
inside.
came down on me and got on my emails and found out that I was subversive and locked me in a prison, right, like Tim Robbins, and I escaped after 15 years in my prison uniform, and I got clean, and I got to the way they hang clothes on the line, like you're getting away, and my one chance to get away was putting on a golf shirt that said Trump, I would go back to prison.
Next.
Next is Rush Limbaugh. He supposedly made $66 million.
Yeah, that's probably at least largely true because his audience is a crock. I mean, he lies about his audience all the time. 14 million is a per week, per month. I don't know. I made it up, right? Actually, he says 20 million sometimes, and then other times he just shifts it to 15 million. Anyway, but he does have enough stations. He was on about 300 stations or so that he had a really big radio contract. I don't know that it goes all the way up to 66. I'd be a little surprised by that, but it's enormously healthy. I mean, at a minimum, I think it was I forget if it was 25 or 50. Based on that number, it must have been about 50 million a year, which is so
It's
discouraging.
so crazy. Like, at what point do you if somebody would you have turned it down if it was just 6 million? You know, you'd be like, fantastic.
Yeah. Well, of course, what happens is he says, well, I'll go to a different company unless you give me this much.
Well, you also have to factor in investments. He's probably investing in bulk gold and disaster seeds.
Oh, that's right.
That'll
That'll work out well.
Dr. Phil is next. He supposedly made $72 million. That I also believe because of his talk show. It is wildly popular.
The books, again, daytime TV.
Oprah Winfrey was on the list. She made about $77 million.
You see how much going to cable has hurt her.
I know.
No, the funny thing, but really, like in the old days, Oprah was always number one. And now that she's not on the networks anymore, she's all the way down at number 4. I don't know if she's going to be all right with only $77 million a year.
Well, now we get to the controversial part of the list. Glenn Beck supposedly made $90 million. He's number 3 on the list.
From whom?
No, utter
Supposedly
crap.
from The Blaze, okay? So he has subscribers on The Blaze. They pay about $100 a year. And his people claim that he has enough subscribers to add up to this amount of money.
It's a
No fucking way.
It's a complete and utter lie. Okay, so the $100 makes sense. You know, we charge $10 a month. He can charge you in that ballpark. And some people pay that for him, for us, and that's a standard operating procedure on the internet. For him to have enough to get, I think it's like that would be nearly 1 million subscribers. 1 million subscribers paying $100 a year. Inconceivable. It's not remotely true. So now it's not just me guessing that. Look, when you ask the reporters who report on this absolute nonsense, what document did you see? No. He tells us that he has nearly 1 million subscribers. Oh, does he? Oh, does he say that? Oh, okay. And
Wait,
a
Jake,
proven
Jake,
chronic
who are you?
liar told you that. Oh, okay. Then take his word for it.
Who are you to besmirch the honor of Glenn Beck, who would never stretch the truth to make himself look more important and influential?
Okay. Well, look. I'll put it to you this way. You'll know if I'm right or wrong when he goes bankrupt in 1 to 2 years, right? Because he has a giant staff on that show that he does online, etc., on his company, and there's no way he has that many subscribers or that kind of money. So my guess is in about a year, I've already seen some of the panic set in internally behind the scenes in his company when they were like, we are coming online, behold Glenn Beck, right? Now they're like, could we get a deal with somebody? Maybe like, a collaboration or something? I'm not saying with us, but I've seen it behind the scenes. So that would be funny. So my guess is tick-tock, tick-tock. And then the gullible reporters will write, oh, what a fall from grace from 90 million last year to nothing this year.
So the last two are actually tied. Howard Stern comes in next at $95 million. And of course, that's because of his satellite radio contract. I didn't know this, but apparently he tried to revive a lawsuit against satellite radio.
Against Sirius, yeah.
Against Sirius. He claims that they owe him about $300 million, but he failed to revive that lawsuit. Which is interesting because he's biting the hand that feeds. I mean, they've made him tremendously fabulously wealthy.
And he started talking about it like instantly after he resigned. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And then Simon Cowell is also on the list. He also made $95 million, and that's because he
owns all these shows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I know I've just recently started listening to a bit of XM, and one of the pairs of shock jocks I listen to is Opie and Anthony from New York. They trash XM constantly. They're on XM. Apparently they don't watch their own programs.
The radio jocks or whatever they are drive me crazy. And we used to be on the radio. And Howard's an exception because he's just a different level of talent. And he does a fascinating show in other ways, right? But he does the same shtick. And maybe they're copying Howard, but it's annoying. Like, oh, you have to immediately, fight against the company you're on. In fact, probably Howard did invent that with pig vomit and all that stuff, right? Like, so they all copy him, so they're like, I'm such a rebel, XM sucks, and it's become like a shtick, and it's so boring and so stupid.
What's interesting about Howard's thing, at least with this, was that, he just thought that they owed him stock. I mean, it's like in the contract, and and it was again, like everything else with Howard, that was totally different, and he was like, I'm not gonna, essentially was always saying, I'm not gonna win. But he's like, I'm just saying, they owe it to me. They owe it to me, and they can't prove that they don't. They owe me the money. Then don't sign the contract. That's all. But he's actually normally incredibly praiseworthy of the management in general.
Yeah.
I don't understand the Simon Cowell and the Ryan Seacrest stuff. Like, I understand Ryan Seacrest is on, you can go on radio and TV at any time of day and you'll find him on something. And Simon Cowell, you're saying he owns these programs, that's fine.
So does Ryan Seacrest.
Okay, I understand that, but I'm sure that they did that with money that they got from being on air initially. But they just seem so boring. Like, I was never
Simon
an American
Cowell
Idol person.
I could see that with Ryan Seacrest, but Simon Cowell became really, really popular
For
because of
insulting the
American.
audience. Yeah.
For
I just find it
American
to be
Idol.
so
I mean,
boring.
he was like the mean bully on American Idol, and that made him
So
different.
millions of dollars?
People
I've
like
never
it.
understood.
People
But
like
she brought American Idol here.
Exactly.
I mean, American Idol has made, who knows?
They could have kept it, I think, and I would have been perfectly fine with
Right,
that.
but I mean, it was a #1 show for like season after season after season, and that's hard to produce, and so it just became incredibly valuable to Fox to maintain that, so it's incredibly valuable to pay him. I think I'm right that he owns that.
Yeah,
right?
he owns
Yeah,
a
he
part
does.
of X Factor, and he owns a part of Got Talent, which is actually
not Idol?
I thought that he owned a part of Idol, but the
I don't
article
know.
didn't mention it. But Got Talent is actually franchised all across the world. There's even Afghanistan's Got Talent.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's an Armenia's Got Talent as well.
And he makes money off of all of that, which is hilarious. But the overall message I get from the list is be a dick. Simon Cowell, Howard Stern, Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh.
Oprah.
Ryan Seacrest.
I guess maybe either be abrasive, and even
Judge
Judge Judy
Judy
is abrasive. She's not
Oh,
a
that's
dick.
true.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
a dick.
Okay,
Yeah,
she
but
can't-
look at Ellen, though.
Yeah,
I mean, she's the most
Or-
wholesome family friend.
That's what I was going to say. Either be really abrasive or super vanilla.